Today I'm going to show you and talk to you about how rent-to-rent strategy works and how it's really simple and easy and how just about anyone can go out and do some rent-to-rent strategies. I really don't understand why more property investors don't use rent-to-rent. It's so simple and so easy. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll explain what it is, how you do it. I'll give an example of one of the ones we've done where you end up making, or will be making, around 28,000 over the next few years from that deal. So I'll show you exactly how we got it, how we structured it, what it meant, and how the paperwork works. Okay, so to start with, what is rent-to-rent? What's all the hype about this new strategy that's been going on? Well, first myth, it's not new. It's been around for a long time. We've been using, the first one I did was probably 9 or 10 years ago. They've been around for a long time. They're just getting more focus and more people are doing them now because of the difficulties with mortgages, and that's really what it comes down to. Okay, basically a rent-to-rent deal is really, all it comes down to is this. This is the property, and you've got a landlord that owns this property or a vendor, and all you do is over here, you find a tenant. Okay? And in between, there's some profit to be made, and that's what you keep. So to make it really simple, for example, you rent the property from the landlord for £300 per month, and you find a tenant who's willing to pay you £500 a month. So how much profit do you make a month? Simple, 200 quid. And that is the essence of rent-to-rent, and that's how rent-to-rent really works. It's all about getting a property from a landlord at a price and being able to rent that property to another tenant at a higher price. And so long as you can do that, that is rent-to-rent. Now, how would you be able to get more rent than what the landlord's currently getting it at the moment? Well, there's lots of different ways. So for example, if this was a house in multiple occupation, so that means you rent rooms out rather than the house as a whole, you could get more money through that. Or another example might be, which I'll show you, I'll actually go through this because this is one of the ones that we've just done recently, where the landlord would normally maybe get 400, 450 a month for it, but we can get 700 from an LHA rental. So that's another example of using that. And then another one is if you were to do if it was in an area where you could do holiday lets on, or if it was a commercial premises, you could rent out the shop downstairs and the offices or the flat above separately and therefore get more rent. So there's lots and lots of ways where you can do this rent-to-rent strategies and lots of situations that you can do it. So what I'll do now is I'll take you through an example of one that we've just done very recently.
Hi everyone, just like I promised earlier, what I'm going to show you now is one of the deals we're currently doing and how you can do a rent-to-rent thing. It's really simple, really easy, anyone can do it. You don't have to have loads of money to put into the deals usually. So if you just have a quick look around, this is basically Bawdsey Green. It's it's not a great area of Birmingham. However, anything you get around here will rent out really well.
Okay, so that was a picture of the house. It's actually a property in Green Lane in Smallheath in Birmingham. It's not a great area, it's working class area, it's fine. Properties tend to rent out there, but not for great amounts of rent. So the average rent in that area is anything between £450 and £550. However, that particular property, the landlord's had it for a number of years. He's started doing a refurb on it, but never finished it, and it's been empty now for about 18 months, and he's not really managed to do anything with it. So we spoke to them, we set up a deal where we said we will refurb the property and then rent the property out. And in return for that, we wanted a 5-year lease. So we've agreed a 5-year, it's actually a 6-year lease, but we've agreed a lease under the following conditions. So let me just take you through that. So the lease agreement is as follows. We refurb the property. 2, we pay no rent for 12 months. 3, we pay £300 per calendar month for 5 years after. So it's not a complicated deal, it's quite simple. We're going to refurb the property. The cost of the refurb is about 4k. We're going to pay no rent for the first 12 months. The rent on this property, because it's a 4-bedroom house, and even though it's in an area like that, the LHA rentals for Birmingham are £700 for a 4-bedroom house. So we've already found a tenant who wants that property because there's a shortage of larger properties in Birmingham. So we've got a tenant who's lined up, who's given us a deposit and who wants the property. And they're going to get £700 per calendar month for that property. So we're going to receive £700 per calendar month. So for the first 12 months we'll get 700 with nothing to pay the landlord. And that works out at 700 times 12 is 8,400 for us in the first year, plus we get the difference between the 700 we're receiving and the 300 that we have to pay out to the landlord. Or 400 per calendar month, times 12 months for the year, multiplied by 5 years. Okay, so we'll receive that money over the life of this lease as well, which works out to roughly 4,800 per year times 5 years, which is so about 20. Let's do it. £24,000. Okay, so as you can see, I'll just go over these numbers again just to make it a bit more clearer. So, just write that clearly. That's £24,000 in extra rent, or the difference between the two rents over the 5 years, plus 8,400 for the first year when you're paying no rent to the landlord at all, which makes a total of 32,400. Not bad. Remember, you had to pay the £4,000 to do the refurb. So you've actually made around £28,400 profit on this deal. So this is a great way, it's a great way of doing deals really simply, really easily, without putting a lot of money into the deals. In this case, we put £4,000 in for a. In this case, we've put £4,000 in for the refurb. But sometimes we've done deals, and you can do deals where you don't have to put any money in because the property's already been refurbed. So there are lots of ways to extend this rent-to-rent type of deal and have an option, for example, to buy the property at the end and other things like that. However, what I'll do is I'll cover some of those other strategies in some more videos that we're about to that I'll do next week maybe. So the next one I'll do is I'll show how you can do a rent-to-rent strategy, and you can link it in with a HMO type strategy and show how we're making about £1,000 per month with just one property in cash flow, and also how we link that in to the option to buy the property, so we've also got the right to buy that property in 17 years time. Okay then, all the best and enjoy yourselves and enjoy the remaining bit of summer that we've got. Have fun and speak soon. Take care. Bye bye.